back momentarily. I just need to run and grab something as
Great.
well.
Okay. Downloads. Here we go. Much ado. And this has to go over here.
Okay, well, we are now live on YouTube, and welcome to the Instant Shakespeare Company on Zoom. My name's Paul Sugarman. I'm the founder of Instant Shakespeare, and we are doing a reading today of Much Ado About Nothing. And so thank you all for coming and joining us today. And I know that Michael is getting his script up. And yes, and even our Dogberry is here. So let me he just came in as attendee some reason. So I think we should be good to go. And I will just thank you. Our motto at Instant Shakespeare Company is Shakespeare for everyone. And so now I will turn it over to Derek and have fun with this. And yeah, just basically share some Shakespeare.
Great. Thanks, Paul. So my name is Derek Tarson, and I am the playmaster for this particular reading. And I'm very excited about this. It's the first time I'm actually playing Benedict. So I think let's just start with introductions. I will, let me call out people's names, and if you could introduce yourselves, and then turn off your cameras as soon as you've introduced yourself, and we'll start the reading. Okay, let's start with Michael.
I'm Michael Gardner. I'm playing the governor of Messina, Leonato, father to Hero.
Jackie, thank you.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Margolis. I'm playing Conrad, the friar and a messenger.
Jennifer?
I'm Jennifer Finger. I'm playing Hero.
Suzanne?
Hi, I'm Suzanne Ducharme, and I'm reading Beatrice.
David? I think, David, you have to unmute yourself. Are you there?
Hi, I'm David Wetter. I'm Don Pedro of Aragon.
Okay. I'm Derek Tarson, playing Benedict. Julie?
Yes, hi, I'm Julie Kirshner. I'm playing Don John the Bastard.
And Daniel?
I am Daniel. I'll be playing Claudio, Benedict's best friend and would-be lover of Hero.
I'm sorry, Mary Lou.
Yes, I am playing Balthazar and Antonio.
Okay. Tony.
I'm Tony Shanman. I'm playing the part of Borachio, Don John's Confederate.
Kitty?
I'm Kitty Chen. I'm reading Margaret and Vergis.
And Debbie?
Hi, I'm Debbie Buxbaum. I'm reading Ursula and Sexton.
Okay. And Ken?
Hi, I'm Ken Wayne. I'm playing Dogberry.
Okay, and I think we have got everyone. Did I miss anyone? Good.
Let us please remind everybody that if you are not in the scene, please turn off your video and mute your microphones.
Yes, very good, very good warning. So with that, let's begin Much Ado About Nothing.
Anybody reading stage directions or no?
I'll just read.
I'll read the stage direction since I don't really have that much to do for the couple of scenes. Okay.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay. Let me just get to that particular page. Here we go. Herein begins the comedy of Much Ado About Nothing by Master William Shakespeare, performed by the Instant Shakespeare Company on Zoom. Actus Primus. Scene 1. The city of Messina. Don Leonato, the governor of Messina, enters, along with Inogen, his wife, Hero, his daughter, and Beatrice, his niece, with a messenger.
I learned in this letter that Don Peter of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very near by this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of any sort, none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Peter has bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
Much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of his age, doing in the figure of a lamb the feats of a lion. He has indeed been bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He has an uncle here in Messina who will be very much glad of it.
I have already delivered his letters, and there appears much joy in them, even so much that joy could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better it is to weep at joy than to joy at weeping.
I pray you, is Signor Montato returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
What is that? He that you asked for, niece?
My cousin means Signor Benedict of Padua.
Oh, he's returned and as pleasant as ever he was.
Set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight. And my uncle's fool, reading the challenge, subscribed for Cupid and challenged him at the Burbolt. I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten in these wars? How many hath he killed? For indeed I promise to eat all of his killing.
Faith, niece, you tax Signor Benedict too much. But he'll be meet with you, I doubt it not.
He hath done good service, lady, in these wars.
You had musty victual, and he hath holp to ease it. He's a very valiant trencher man. He hath an excellent stomach.
And a good soldier too, lady. Lady Beatrice.
And a good soldier to a lady. But what is he to a lord?
A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing well, we are all mortal.
You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There is a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedict and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them.
Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now is the whole man governed with 1. So that if he have wit enough to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his horse. For it is the wealth that he hath left, to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is it possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith, but as a fashion of a hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady. The gentleman is not in your books.
No, and he were, I would burn my study. But I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squarer now that will make a voyage with him to the devil?
He is most in the company of the right noble Claudio.
Oh, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than the pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio if he have caught the Benedict. It will cost him £1,000 ere he be cured.
I will hold friends with you, lady.
Do, good friend.
You'll ne'er run mad, niece.
No, not until a hot January.
Don Pedro is approached.
Good Signor Leonato, you are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it.
Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides and happiness takes his leave.
Oh, you embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter.
Her mother hath many times told me so.
Were you in doubt that you asked her?
Signor Benedict, no, for then were you a child.
You have it full, Benedict. We may guess by this what you are, being a man, truly the lady father's herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina as like him as she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedict, but nobody marks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedict? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then is courtesy a turncoat? But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted. And I would I could find it in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women. They would else be troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God in my cold blood I am of your humor for that. I'd rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me.
God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face.
Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours.
Well, you are a rare parrot teacher.
A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours.
I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer, but keep your way, in God's name, I have done.
You always end with the jade's trick. I know you of old.
This is the sum of all, Leonato. Signor Claudio and Signor Benedict, my dear friend Leonato, hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here at the least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer. I dare swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled to the prince your brother, I owe you to.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please, your grace, lead on.
Your hand, Leonato, we will go together.
They all exit. Benedict and Claudio remain.
Benedict, didst thou note the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me as an honest man should do for my simple true judgment, or would you have me speak after my custom as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, in faith, methinks she's too low for a high praise, too brown for a fair praise, and too little for a great praise. Only this commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome, and being no other, but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkst I am in sport. I pray thee, tell me truly how thou likest her.
Would you buy her, that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yea, and a case to put it into. But speak you this with a sad brow, or do you play the flouting jack to tell us Cupid is a good hair finder and Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
Well, I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you?
I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife.
Is't come to this? In faith, hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Go to with faith, and thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Oh, look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you.
Don Pedro and Don John the Bastard enter.
What secret hath held you here that you followed not to Leonato's?
I would your grace would constrain me to tell.
I charge thee on thy allegiance.
Oh, you hear, Count Claudio? I can be as secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so, but on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonardo's short daughter.
If this were so, so were it uttered.
Like the old tale, my lord, it is not so, nor 'twas not so, but indeed God forbid it should be so.
If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise.
Amen. If you love her, for the lady is very well worthy.
You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought.
And in faith, my lord, I spoke mine.
And by my two faiths and troths, my lord, I speak mine.
That I love her, I feel.
That she is worthy, I know.
That I neither feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake.
Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty.
And an endeavor could maintain his part, but in the force of his will.
That a woman conceived me, I thank. That she brought me up, I likewise give her most humble thanks. But that I will have a retreat winded in my forehead, or hang my bugle in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me, because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any. I will do myself the right to trust none. And the finet is, for which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee ere I die look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Prove that ever I lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking. Pick out my eyes with a ballad maker's pen and hang me up on the door of the brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot at me. And he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear true the yoke.
The savage bull may, but if ever the sensible Benedict bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead. And let me be vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, here is a good horse to hire, let them signify under my sign, here you may see Benedict, the married man.
If this should ever happen, thou wouldst be horn mad.
Nay, if Cupid have not spent all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for this shortly.
I look for an earthquake too, then.
Well, you will temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good sir, Signor Benedict, repair to Leonardo's, commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for indeed he hath made great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you.
To the tuition of God. From my house, if I had it.
The 6th of July, your loving friend, Benedict.
Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometimes guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly basted on neither. Either you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience, and so I leave you.
And Benedict exits.
My liege, your highness now may do me good.
My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how? And thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee good.
Hath Leonardo any son, my lord?
No child but Hero. She's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord. When you went onward on this ended action, I looked upon her with a soldier's eye, that liked, but had a rougher task in hand, than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their places vacant, in their rooms come thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying, I liked her ere I went to wars. Don Pedro, you're on mute.
Where am I? I'm sorry.
From Thou Wilt Be a Lover. Or that will be like a lover. Top of 14.
Oh, okay. Thou will be like a lover presently, and tire the hero with a book of words. If thou dost love fair hero, cherish it, and I will break with her. Was not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly do you minister to love, that no loves grief by his complexion. But lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have salved it with a longer treatise.
What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look what will serve, is fit. 'Tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with a remedy. I know we shall have reveling tonight. I will assume the part in some disguise, and tell fair hero I am Claudio. And in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then after to her father will I break. And the conclusion is she shall be thine. In practice, let us put it off presently.
And they both exit. Act 1, Scene 2, a room in Leonato's house. Enter Leonato and an old man, Antonio, brother to Leonato.
How now, brother? Where's my cousin, your son? Have he provided this music?
Oh, he's very busy about it, but brother, I can tell you strange news that you yet dreamed not of.
Are they good?
Oh, as the event stamps them, but they have a good cover. They show well outward. The prince and the Count Claudio walk in a thick-pleached alley in mine orchard, where they're much overheard by a man of mine. The prince discovered to Claudio that he loved my niece, your daughter, and meant to acknowledge it this night in advance. And if he found her accordant, he means to take the present time by the top and instantly break you of it.
Hath the fellow any wit that told you this?
A good sharp fellow. I will send for him, and you could question him yourself.
No, we'll hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter with all, that she may be the better prepared for an answer. If peradventure this be true, go you and tell her of it. Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, friend. Go you with me, and I will use your skill, good cousin. Have a care this busy time.
They both exit. Act 1, Scene 3, another room. Enter Don John the Bastard and Conrade, his companion.
What the good year, my lord? Why are you thus out of measure sad?
There's no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness it's without limit.
You should hear reason.
When I've heard it, what blessing brings it?
It's not a present remedy, yet a patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art born under Saturn, goest about to apply a moral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause and smile at no man's jests. Eat when I have stomach and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I am drowsy and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I am merry and claw no man in his humor.
Yea, but you must not make the full show of this, till you may do it without controlment. You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly into his grace, where it is impossible you should take root. But by the fair weather that you make yourself, it is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest.
I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace. And it benefits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering, honest man, it must not be denied that I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore I've decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent?
I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here? Oh, what news, Braccio?
Enter Baraccio. I come yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonato, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage.
Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness?
Marry. It is your brother's right hand.
Who? The most exquisite Claudio?
Even he.
A proper squire. And which way looks he?
Marry. On Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonato.
A very forward march chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer, as I was smoking a musty room, comes me the prince and Claudio, hand in sad conference. I whipped behind the arras, and there heard it agreed upon that the prince should woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give her to Count Claudio.
Come, let us thither. This may prove food to my displeasure. That young startup both all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You are both sure and will assist me.
To the death, my lord.
Let us to the great supper. There cheers the greater that I am subdued. Would the cook be of my mind? Shall we go prove what's to be done?
We'll wait upon your lordship. And they all exit. Actus secundus, sine prima. Another room in Leonatus's mansion. Enter Leonato, his brother Antonio, his wife, Hero, his daughter, and Beatrice's niece and a kinsman.
Was not Count John here at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly the gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I am heartburned an hour later.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
He were an excellent man that were made just in the midway between him and Benedick. The one is too like an image and says nothing. The other is too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then half Signor Benedick's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedick's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse, such a man would win a woman in the world if he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue.
A faith, she is too cursed.
Cursed is more than cursed. I shall lessen God's sending that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed he sends none.
So by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just, if you send me no husband, for the which blessing I am upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I'd rather lie in the woolen.
You might lie upon a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel? Make him my waiting gentlewoman? He that hath a beard is more than a youth, and he that hath no beard is less than a man. And he that is more than a youth is not for me. And he that is less than a man, I not for him. Therefore I will take sixpence in earnest of Barrett and lead his apes into hell.
Well then, go you into hell.
No, but to the gate. And there will the devil meet me like an old cuckold with horns on his head and say, "Get you to heaven, Beatrice. Get you to heaven. Here's no place for you maids." So I deliver up my apes, and away to St. Peter for the heavens. He shows me where the bachelors sit, and there live we as merry as the day is long.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, faith. It is my cousin's duty to make courtesy and say as it please you. But yet for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another courtesy and say, "Father, as it please me."
Well, niece, I hope to see you one day fitted with a husband.
Not till God make one of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust? To make account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match in my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you be not wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hero, hear me. Wooing, wedding, repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure and a cinque pace. The first suite is hot and hasty like the Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding mannerly and modest as a measure, full of state and eccentricity, and then competence with his bad legs fall into the cinque pace faster and faster until he sinks into his grave.
Cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly.
I have a good eye, uncle.
I'm going on.
Oh, the revelers are conjuring, brother. Make good room.
Enter the maskers, Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, Balthazar, Don John the Bastard, Baraccio, and other maskers with a drum.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly and look sweetly and say nothing. I'm yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company.
I may say so when I please.
And when please you to say so?
When I like your favor. For God to defend the lute should be like the case.
My visor is Philomen's roof. Within the house is love.
Well, then your visor should be thatched.
Speak low if you speak love.
Well, I would you did
How
like
would
me.
you like me?
It's Balthazar and Margaret.
Not in the puck press, but that's okay.
Well, I would you like me? Oh.
Kitty, you there?
Yes.
Okay.
So would not I for your own sake, for I have many ill qualities.
Which is one?
I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry, Amen.
God match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, Clark.
No more words. The clock is answered.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Antonio. Antonio?
Mary Lou?
Oh, as a word, I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well unless you were the very man. Here's his dry hand up and down. You are he, you are he.
At a word, I am not.
Oh, come, come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, Mom, you are he. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
But will you not tell me who told you so?
No, you shall pardon me.
Nor will you not tell me who you are?
Not now.
That I was disdainful and that I had my good wit out the 100 merry tales. Well, this was Signor Benedict that says so.
What's he?
I'm sure you know him well enough.
Well, not I, believe me.
Did he never make you laugh?
I pray you, what is he?
Why, he is the prince's jester. A very dull fool. Only his gift is, in devising impossible slanders, none but libertines delight in him. And the commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy. For he hath both pleasant men and angers them. And then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me.
When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say.
Do. He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which peradventure, not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy. And then there's a partridge wing saved, for the fool will eat no supper that night. We must follow the leaders.
In every good thing.
Nay, if they lead to any ill, I will leave them the next morning. Turning.
They exit. Music for the dance. Re-enter Don John, Baraccio, and Claudio.
Sure my brother is amorous on Hero, and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are not you Signor Benedict?
You know me well. I am he.
Signor, you're very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part as an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too, and he swore he would marry her tonight.
Come, let's us to the banquet.
Don John and Baraccio exit. Claudio remains.
Thus answer I in name of Benedict. But hear these ill news with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so, the prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore all hearts in love use their own tongues. Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent, for beauty is a witch, against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, hero.
Benedict enters.
I'm Claudio.
Yea, the same.
Come, will you go with me?
Whither?
Even to the next willow about your own business, Count. What fashion will you wear the garland of? What, about your neck like a usurer's chain, or under your arm like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your hero.
I wish him joy of her.
Why, that's spoken like an honest trovier. So they sell bullocks. But did you think the prince would have served you thus?
I pray you leave me.
Oh, now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post?
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
And Claudio exits.
Oh, alas, poor hurt fowl. Now we will creep into the sedges. But that my lady Beatrice should know me and not know me, the prince's fool, ha! Maybe I go under that title because I am married. Yea, but I am apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base, the bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person and so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Enter Don Pedro.
Now, Signor, where's the Count? Did you see him?
Both, my lord, I have played the part of Lady Fame. I found him here as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think he told him true, that your grace had not the will of this young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland as being forsaken, or to bind him a rod as being worthy to be whipped.
To be whipped? What's his fault?
The flat transgression of a schoolboy. who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, shows it to his companion, and he steals it.
Wilt thou make a trust, a transgression? The transgression is in the stealer.
Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too, for the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed on you, who, as I take it, have stolen the bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing and restore them to the owner.
If your singing answer their saying, by my faith, you say honestly.
The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by you.
Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak with one green leaf on it would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, and that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest with such impossible conveyance upon me, that I stood like a man at the mark with a whole army shooting at me. She speaks poignard, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules have turned spit, yea, and have cleft the club to make the fire too. Talk not of her. You shall find her the infernal Ate in good apparel. I would to God some scholar would conjure her, for certainly while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary, and people sin upon purpose because they would go thither. So indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Enter Claudio, Beatrice, Leonato, and Hero.
Look, here she comes.
Will your grace commend me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the Antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker now from the furthest inch of Asia, bring you the length of Prester John's foot, fetch you a hair of the great Cham's beard, do you any imbecile to the pygmies rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy. You have no employment for me?
None but to desire your good company.
Oh, God, sir. Here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure this lady tongue.
And Benedict exits hastily.
Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedict.
Indeed, my lord. He lent it me a while, and I gave him good use of it. Double a heart for a single one. Marry once before he won it of me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it.
You have put him down, lady. You have put him down.
So I would not he should do me, my lord, lest I should prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you have sent me to seek.
Why now, how, Count? Wherefore art you sad?
Not sad, my lord.
How then, sick?
Neither, my lord.
The count is neither sad nor sick, nor merry nor well, but civil count. Civil as an orange, and something of a jealous complexion.
In faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true. Though I'll be sworn, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair Hero is won. I have broke with the father, and his good will obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy.
You're muted, Michael.
Sorry, Count, take of me my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace have made the match, and all grace say amen to it.
Speak, Count, 'tis your cue.
Silenced is the perfectest hero of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you and dote upon the exchange.
Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, and let him not speak neither.
In faith, lady, you have a merry heart.
Yea, my lord, I thank it. Poor fool, it keeps me on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in my heart.
And so she doth, cousin.
Good Lord for alliance. Thus goes everyone to the world, but I am sunburned. And I may sit in a corner and cry, hey ho, for a husband.
Lady Beatrice, I will get you one.
Well, I would rather have one of your father's getting. Hath your grace ne'er a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands, if a maid could come by them.
Will you have me, lady?
No, my lord. Unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day, but I beseech your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour.
No, sure, my lord, my mother cried. But then there was a star danced, and under that was I born. Cousins, God give you joy.
Niece, will you look to those rings I told you of?
I cry you mercy, uncle, by your grace's pardon.
And Beatrice exits.
By my troth, a pleasant-spirited lady.
There's a little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad, but when she sleeps, and not ever sad then. For I have heard my daughter say she hath often dreamt of happiness and waked herself with laughing.
She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means. She mocks all her wooers out of suit.
She were an excellent wife for Benedict.
Lord, my lord, if there were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad.
Count Claudio, when mean you to go to church?
Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love has all his rights.
Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence just 7 night and a time too brief to have all things answer mind.
Come, shake the head at so long a breathing. But I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will, in the interim, undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedict and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection, the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you three will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings.
And I, my lord.
And you too, gentle hero?
I'll do any modest office, my lord, to help my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedict is not the unhopefullest husband that I know. Thus far can I praise him. He is of noble strain, of approved valor and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedict, and I, with your 2 helps, will so practice on Benedict that in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we can do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me and I will tell you my drift.
They all exit. Act 2, Scene 3, another room. Enter Don John and Borachio.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonardo.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I'm sick in displeasure to him, and whatsoever comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret, the waiting gentlewoman to Hero.
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable hour, instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that, to be the death of this marriage?
The poison of that lies in you to temper. Go you to the prince your brother. Spare not to tell him that he hath wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up, to a contaminated stale, such a one as Hero.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero, and kill Leonato. Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them. I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw on Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal both to the prince and Claudio, as in a love of your brother's honor who hath made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is like to be cozened with the semblance of a maid, that you have discovered thus. They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window, hear me call Margaret Hero, hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to see this very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime, I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall appear such seeming truths of Hero's disloyalty that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation overthrown.
Grow this to what adverse issue it can. I will put it into practice. Be cunning in the working this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be thou constant in the accusation, and my cunning will not shame me.
I will presently go learn their day of marriage.
And they both exit. That's Act 2, Scene 3, a garden pathway. Enter Benedict alone.
Boy,
Signor,
in my chamber window lies a book. Bring it hither to me in the orchard.
I am here already, sir.
I know that, but I would have thee hence and here again.
The boy exits.
I do much wonder at one man, seeing how much another man is a fool when he dedicates his behaviors to love, will, after he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. And such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music with him but the drum and the fife. Now had he rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would have walked 10 mile afoot to see a good armor. And now will he lie 10 nights awake, carving the fashion of a new doublet. He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. And now he has turned orthography. His words are a very fantastical banquet, just so many dishes. May I be so converted and see with these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I'll take mine oath on it. Till he hath made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another is wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. But till all graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace. Rich she shall be, well, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen her. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not for an angel. Of good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be, what? Of what color it please God? Oh, the prince and Monsieur Love, I will hard hide me in the arbor.
And he hides himself. Enter Don Pedro, Leonato, Claudio, and Balthazar.
Come, shall we hear this music?
Yea, my good lord. Now still the evening is hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See you where Benedict hath hid himself.
Oh, very well, my lord. The music ended. We'll fit the kid fox with a pennyworth.
Come, Balthazar, we'll hear that song again.
Oh, good my lord, tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once.
Oh, it is the witness still of excellency to put a strange face on his own perfection. I pray thee sing, and let me woo no more.
Because you talk of wooing, I will sing, since many a wooer doth commence his suit to her he thinks not worthy. Yes, still he woos her, yet will he swear his love.
Nay, pray thee, come, or if thou wilt hold longer argument, do it in notes.
Note is before my notes. There's not a note of mine that's worth the noting.
Why, these are very crotchets that he speaks. Now notes, forsooth, and noting.
Now divine air, now is his soul ravished. Is it not strange that sheep's guts should heal souls out of men's bodies? Well, a horn for all my money when all's done.
I no more, ladies, I no more. Well, we're deceivers ever. One foot in and the other on shore, to one thing constant never. Then sigh not so, but let them go and be ye blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny. Sing no more ditties, sing no more of dumps or dull or heavy. The fraud of men will ever sow, since summer first was lady. Then sigh no more, but let them go and be blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey nonny nonny.
By my troth, a good song.
And an ill singer, my lord.
No, faith, thou singest well enough for a shift.
And he had been a dog that should have howled thus, they would have hanged him. And I pray God his bad voice bode no mischief. I'd have as lief have heard the night raven, come what plague could have come after it.
Yea, marry, dost thou hear, Balthazar? I pray thee, get us some excellent music, for tomorrow night we would have it at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
The best I can, my lord.
Exit Balthazar.
Do so. Farewell. Come hither, Leonato. What was it you told me of today, that your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedict?
Bowel sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man. Michael, you're still on mute.
No, nor I neither. But most wonderful that she should so dote on Signor Benedict, whom she hath all outward behaviors seem ever to abhor.
Is it possible? Sits the wind in that corner?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit.
Faith, like enough.
Oh God, counterfeit? There was never counterfeit of passion came so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why, what effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well, this fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How? How, I pray you? You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedict.
I should think this was a gull, but that the white-bearded fellow speaks it. Knavery cannot sure hide himself in such reverence.
Affection, hold it up.
Hath she made her affection known to Benedict?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true indeed, so your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that have so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
That says she now when she is beginning to write to him, for she will be up 20 times a night, and there she will sit in her smock till she have writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
Oh, but when she had read it and was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheet.
That?
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she would be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, she says, by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he write to me. Though I love him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience.
She doth indeed, my daughter says so. And the ecstasy has so much overborne her that my daughter is sometimes afeard she will do a desperate outrage to herself. It is very true.
It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it.
To what end? He would but make a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse.
And he should. It were an alms to hang him. She's an excellent sweet lady, and out of all suspicion, she is virtuous.
And she is exceeding wise.
In everything, but in loving Benedict.
My lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body, we have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, as I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian.
I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have daffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray you, tell Benedict of it and hear what he will say.
Were it good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not, and she will die ere she make her love known, and she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well if she should make tender of her love. 'Tis very possible he'll scorn it, for the man, as you all know, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
For God, and in my mind very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
Oh, and I take him to be valiant.
As Hector, I assure you, and in the managing of quarrels you may see he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion or undertakes them with a Christian-like fear.
Oh, if he do fear God and must necessarily keep peace, if he break the peace, he ought to enter into a quarrel with fear and trembling.
And so will he do, for the man doth fear God, however it seems not in him, by some large jests he will make. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go see Benedict and tell him of her love?
Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first.
Well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cook the while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy to have so good a lady.
My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready.
If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation.
Let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. The sport will be when they hold one another, one in opinion of another's dotage, and no such matter. That's the scene that I would see, which would be merely a dumb show. Let us send her to call him into dinner.
Don Pedro, Leonato, and Claudio exit.
This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have the full bent. Love me? Why, it must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she will rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear their detractions and can put them to mending. What they say, the lady is fair, 'tis truth, I can bear them witness, and virtuous, 'tis so, I cannot reprove it, and wise, but for loving me, by my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me because I've railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humor? No. The world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By the day, she's a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love on her.
Enter Beatrice.
Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I took no pains for those thanks. Then you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come.
You take pleasure then in the message?
Yea, just so much as you may take upon a knive's point, and choke a dog withal. You have no stomach, signor. Fare you well.
Beatrice exits.
Huh. Against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner. There's double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. Well, that's as much as to say, any pains I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity of her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a Jew. I will go get her picture.
Exit Benedict. Actus Tertius, Scena Prima. Another part of the garden. Enter Hero and two gentlewomen, Margaret and Ursula.
Margaret, run me to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice, proposing with the Prince and Claudia. Whisper her ear and tell her I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us, and bid her steal into the pleached bower, where honeysuckles ripened by the sun forbid the sun to enter, like favorites made proud by princes that advanced their pride against that power that bred it. There will she hide her to listen to our purpose. This is thy office, bear thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I'll make her come, I warrant you presently.
And Margaret exits.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we did trace this alley up and down, our talk must be only of Benedict. When I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin.
Enter Beatrice.
For look where Beatrice like a rapine runs close by the ground to hear our conference.
The pleasantest angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue.
Then go we near her that her ear lose nothing of the false sweet bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my new trust lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they love Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Oh, why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
Oh, God of love! I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man. But nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on. And her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love nor take no shape nor project of affection, since she is so self-endeared.
Sure, I think so. And therefore, certainly, it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it.
Well, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man, how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black, why a nature drawing of an antic made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed. If low, a nagget very vilely cut. If speaking, why a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why a block moved with none. So turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth.
Sure, such carping is not commendable.
No, not to be so odd and from all fashions as Beatrice is cannot be commendable. But who dare tell her so? If I should speak, she would mock me into air. Oh, yet she will laugh me out of myself, press me to death with wit. Therefore let Benedict, like covered fire, consume away in sighs, waste inwardly. There were a better death to die with mocks, which is as bad as die with tickling.
Yet tell her of it. Hear what she will say.
No, rather I will go to Benedict and counsel him to fight against his passion. And truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One does not know how much an ill word may empoison liking.
Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedict.
He is the only man of Italy, always excepted my dear Claudia.
I pray you be not angry with me, madam, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedict, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report throughout Italy.
Indeed, he hath an excellent good name.
His excellence did earn it ere he had it. When are you married, madam?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel, which is the best to furnish me tomorrow.
She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam.
If it proves so, then loving goes by halves. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps.
Hero and Ursula exit.
What fire is this in mine eyes, in my ears? Can this be true? Shall I stand condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride, adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such. And Benedict, love on. I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, thy kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
Exit Beatrice. Act 3, Scene 2. A room in Leonato's house. Enter Don Pedro, Claudio, Benedict, and Leonato.
I do but stay till your marriage be consummate, and then I go toward Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if you'll vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dare not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is the clapper, for what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
If I am not as I have been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope he be in love.
Hang him, truant. There's no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money.
I have the toothache.
Draw it.
Hang it.
You must hang it first and draw it afterwards.
What, sigh for a toothache?
Where's but a humor or a worm?
Well, everyone cannot master a grief, but he that has it.
Yet say I, he is in love.
There is no appearance of fancy in him, unless if it be a fancy that he hath to strange disguises, as to be a Dutchman today, a Frenchman tomorrow, unless he have a fancy to this foolery, as it appears he hath. He is no fool for fancy, as you would have it to appear he is.
If he be not in love with some woman, there is no believing old signs. A brushes his hat in mornings, what should that bode?
Hath any man seen him at the barber's?
No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornament of his cheek hath already stuffed tennis balls.
Indeed, he looks younger than he did by the loss of a beard.
Oh, nay, rubs himself with civet. Can you smell him out by that?
That's as much to say the sweet youth's in love.
Oh, the greatest note of it is his melancholy.
And when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or to paint himself, for the which I hear what they say of him.
Nay, but his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a lute string, is now governed by stops.
Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude, he is in love.
Nay, but I know who loves him.
That would I know too. I warrant that knows him not.
Yes, and his ill conditions, and in despite of all, dies for him.
Since shall be buried with her face upwards.
Yet this is no charm for the toothache. Old Signor, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear.
Exit Benedict and Leonato.
For my life to break with him about Beatrice.
Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet.
Enter Don John the bastard.
My lord and brother, God save you.
Good end, brother.
If your leisure serve, I would speak with you.
In private?
If it please you, yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I speak of concerns him.
What's the matter?
Means your lordship to be married tomorrow?
You know he does.
I know not that, when he knows what I know.
If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it.
You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me than I now will manifest. For, my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath hoped to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit ill spent and labor ill bestowed.
Why, what's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been too long a talking of, the lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonato's hero, your hero, every man's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse title, and I will fit her to it. Wonder you till further warrant. Go but with me tonight. You shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But if it would be better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
I will not think it.
If you dare not trust what you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you've seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly.
If I see anything tonight, why I should not marry her tomorrow in the congregation where I should wed. There will I shame her.
And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her.
I will disparage her no farther till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly, but till midnight, and let the issue show itself.
O day untowardly turned.
Oh, mischief strangely thwarting.
O plague right well prevented. So will you say when you've seen the sequel.
And the three men exit, And we will now take a 10-minute intermission, Derek.
Yes, thank you. Yes, so it's 2:21 now. We'll be back at 2:31.
Thank God my kids want to eat again.
10 minutes out.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta go feed them. Good.
Yep.
All right, it's going very well. I'm having a lot of fun. And Julie, you and Tony, you are so evil. It is great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I have
like the
noticed,
song?
though, that some people are saying Benedict with a T at the end.
Yeah,
That
you're right.
happens.
It should be Benedict, right?
That's right, no T.
Right. And yes, Mary Lou, I did like the song. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
I will be back. I shall return.
All right, I'm just gonna go get off.
Who's got the hiccups?
Me.
Could you please mute your mic when you're not on scene, Mary Lou?
Sure.
Thank you.
Hey, good job, everyone. I'm enjoying listening to it. I couldn't respond right away because I'm delivering the mail, but just keep it up and good work. And I also just wanted to tell everybody about our special Shakespeare celebration next Thursday. Thursday, April 22nd at 7:30. We're going to have, just sort of to celebrate Shakespeare, a Shakespeare free-for-all event. So anybody can come and share some Shakespeare, you know, and just also you could, even if you want to do a scene with someone, just get in touch with them and work it out. And because our motto is Shakespeare for everyone, and we like to have an opportunity to give everybody a chance to participate whenever possible. And also, just to let you know, our upcoming readings in April, next Saturday, the 24th, we will be doing a reading of King Lear of the Quarto, and the following Thursday, I guess that's the 29th, or wait, what's
It's
this?
the 29th. Yes.
22nd. 29th, yeah. The following Thursday, the 29th, will be The Puritan Widow, which is an anonymous play from Shakespeare's time that some people believe is actually by Shakespeare. So you can listen in and judge for yourself. And so, yeah, just wanted to let people know about that. I guess you got a few more minutes of the break here.
Paul,
I just,
do you know what's going on the 1st? I know it's not April anymore, but it's only a couple of days.
yeah, it's we're gonna, well, because we do also like doing Shakespeare or things that are possibly Shakespeare, partly by Shakespeare. We're going to be reading Sir Thomas More. I may be playmastering it. I haven't really done anything with it yet, but it's part of the reason to do it on May Day is that Thomas More was a collaborative play, and what many scholars believe is that one of the contributors was Shakespeare. He's referred to as Hand D, where he did one sort of soliloquy that Thomas More says, and also this very famous scene that where Thomas More first sort of became famous, where when he was sheriff of London, he was able to put down a riot because people were rioting against immigrants because they said the immigrants were taking their jobs. So I know, I mean, we've gotten so far beyond that now. It seems odd to have to do it, but yeah, Grantham removed. You know, I mean, it's a really brilliant speech that's been used many times by the Globe and Ian McKellen and other people as a way to sort of say, yes, we shouldn't hate on the immigrants. And so, yeah, we'll be doing Sir Thomas More on May 1st. And I'm planning on our April 22nd meeting to announce the rest of the May schedule at least.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Thank you.
And also, I guess, still got a couple minutes here. I do want to let people know about something that I've been enjoying in April is Jeffrey Owens, the actor and Shakespearean and teacher, is doing a soliloquy a day on YouTube. And so he's been doing that, I mean, every day in April, a soliloquy a day in April. And so I urge you to check it out. You can go on to YouTube and search for Jeffrey Owens Shakespeare, and you'll find his channel, which has all of the ones in it. And he's done actually the two Benedict monologues, the soliloquies before and after the scene, where he learns that Beatrice is in love with him, or thinks he learns that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, so thank you all. I'm enjoying listening to it, and I'll just unless anybody has any other questions, I'll sign off because you're just about probably getting started in about a minute. So thank you.
Two minutes, everybody. 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Thank you.
Here.
Mary Lou, your mic is still on.
I did it. Hang on. I have to get back to me. Oh, that's me. Come on, be nice.
Yeah, it is going up on speaker view. So when your mic is on
There we
and
go.
you're not there,
Okay,
you
only
become
the
sort
host.
of the active speaker.
Here we go. That's me. Okay, now I can do this.
Yeah, because alrighty, and just all right. Well. Oh yeah, and I also want to brag a little bit. There have been many fine adaptations, film adaptations of Much Ado About Nothing. I particularly like the Joss Whedon one with Amy Acker as Beatrice. And one of the reasons I really like it is that the very first year of the Instant Shakespeare Company, she participated. She was in a number of readings. She was actually in our Much Ado reading, but played Hero back then. So I just want to also let people know about that. It's a sort of contemporary setting in black and white. I think in a lot of ways it's, I mean, at least in terms of some of the comic things, I think it's superior to Branagh. Other people have different opinions on it, but just wanted to let people know about it. There's also a recent good one with David Tennant and Catherine Tate.
There's also an excellent one from the New York, from the Public Theater, starring Sam Waterston as Benedict.
Oh yeah, that's also one. And there's also the recent one for that the Public did with the all-black cast that I think was very good. That was shown on Great Performances. But
last night I was watching the new one from the Globe.
Cool.
Just gotta get a drink of water. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't tell you who's in it because they don't list the cast. I haven't
Not until the end.
Cast yet. Yeah.
Be right
It's
there.
necessarily a bad thing to say that
Okay.
Kenneth Branagh is.
Kitty, are you back?
I'll be right there.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, great. So I just want to make sure you're because when we start.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to say that Kenneth Branagh's version of Much Ado is not one of the best versions of this play. Because, I mean, while I think Kenneth Branagh is himself a treasure when it comes to reinterpreting Shakespeare, it just, like, it was a fun movie, but there was so much that got left out by necessity, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
The performances of himself and his wife, they're both fantastic.
Yeah. Honestly, I think even Keanu did a pretty decent job.
Yes.
He got pretty panned for that, as I recall.
He did, and I think that wasn't fair.
He was better than he was in Dracula.
Because that is definitely a valid interpretation of the character, you know?
Sure.
Although
I actually had no problem with
say-
Keanu. I had more problems with Michael Keaton, who I thought was just dreadful as Dog.
Really? Oh, I loved him as Dogberry.
All right.
Okay, Derek.
I've got to second Derek on that. I think Keanu was fine in it, and that Michael Keaton, I just thought it was just wow. I mean, I don't know. I found it an embarrassing performance, but that's my opinion.
I mean, he really leaned into his Beetlejuice thing, and
Yeah.
I liked it for that reason, you know?
Okay.
Derek, we are running late.
Okay. Is everyone back? It looks like we are. Yeah. Okay.
Is everybody? Are you sure everybody that's necessary? Dogberry, Vergis, and the Watch members.
Yes.
Okay. Shall we begin?
Yeah.
Act 3, Scene 3. Nighttime. A street in Messina. Enter Dogberry and his partner Vergis, along with the members of the Watch.
Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it were pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul.
Were a punishment too good for them, if they should have any allegiance in them being chosen for the prince's watch?
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to be constable?
Hugh Oakcake, sir, or George Seacole, for they can write and read.
Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both which, Master Constable?
You have. I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, why give God thanks and make no boast of it? And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How if you will not stand?
Why then take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
If he will not stand when he is bidden, he is none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We will sleep rather than talk. We know what belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping should offend. Only have a care that your bills be not stolen. Well, you are to call at all the alehouses and bid them that are drunk get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then, let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not then the better answer, you may say that they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why the more is for your honesty.
If we know, shall we lay hands on them?
Truly, by your office you may, but I think they that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself what he is and steal out of your company.
You have been always called a merciful partner.
Truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying. For the ewe that will not her lamb when it baws will never answer a calf when he bleats.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, dear lady, that I think I cannot.
5 shillings to 1 on't. With any man that knows the statutes, he may stay him. Marry, not without the prince be willing. For indeed the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offence to stay a man against his will.
Dear lady, I think it be so.
Ha! 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 Well, masters, good night. And there be any matter of weight chances, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters. Other watch go. Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all to bed.
One word more, honest neighbors. I pray you watch about Signor Leonato's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there is a great coil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant, I beseech you.
Dogberry and Vergis exit. Enter Borachio and Conrade, not seeing the members of the watch. What? Conrade!
Peace, stir not.
Conrade, I say.
Here, man, I am at thy elbow.
Mass, and my elbow itched. I thought there would be a scab follow.
I will thee an answer for that, and now forward with thy tale.
Stand thou close then under this penthouse. It drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason, masters, yet stand close.
Therefore, no. I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats.
Oh, is it possible that any villain should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask if it were possible any villain should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest that the fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Oh, yes, the fashion is the fashion.
Ah, Josh. I may as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
No, that deformed is a vile thief. For 7 years, it goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Eh? Is thou not here somebody?
No, 'twas the vein of the house.
Seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is? Giddily it turns about all the hot bloods between 14 and 35, sometimes fashioning them like Pharaoh's soldiers in the Ricci painting, sometime like God Bell's priests in the old church window, sometime like the shaven Hercules in the smirched worm-eaten tapestry where his codpiece seems as massy as his club.
All this I see, and see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the man. But art not thou thyself giddy with the fashion too, that hath shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so neither, but no, that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the lady Hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leans me out of her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell thee this tale wildly. I should first tell thee how the Prince Claudio and my master planted and placed and possessed by my master Don John saw afar off in the orchard this amiable encounter.
And thought that Margaret was Hero.
2 of them did, the Prince and Claudio. But the devil, my master, knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths which first possessed them, partly by the dark night which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away when Claudio, enraged, swore he would meet her as he was appointed next morning at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw o'ernight, and send her home again without a husband.
Whoa! We charge you in the prince's name, stand!
All right, Master Constable, we have here recovered the most dangerous species of lechery that ever was known in the Commonwealth.
And one deformed is one of them. I know him. He wears a lock.
Masters, masters! Masters!
You may be made bring deformed forth, I warrant you.
Masters, never speak. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
I like to prove a goodly commodity being taken up by these men's bills.
A commodity in question, I warn you. Come, we'll obey you.
And they all exit. Scene 3, Act 4. The next morning, Hero's room. Enter Hero, Margaret, and Ursula.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise,
I will, lady.
and bid her come hither.
Well,
And Ursula exits.
Troth, I think your other bravado were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth's not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's the fool, and thou art a mother. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire within excellently. The hair were a thought browner, and your gown's a most rare fashion, you faith. I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
By my troth, but a nightgown in respect of yours. Cloth of gold and cuts, and lace with silver, set with pearls down sleeves, side sleeves, and skirts, round underborne with a bluish tinsel. But for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 on't.
God give me joy to wear it. My heart is exceeding heavy.
'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man.
Fie upon thee, art thou not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence a husband. And bad thinking do not rest true speaking. I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think. And it'd be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise, 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my Lord Beatrice, else. Here she comes.
Enter Beatrice.
Good morrow, cuz.
Morrow, sweet hero.
Well, how now? Do you speak in the sick tune?
I am all out of other tune, methinks.
Claps in delight, a love that goes without a burden. Do you sing it, and I'll dance it.
Yet light above your heels, then your husband have stables enough. Your look, he thanks, lacks no barns.
Oh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that with my heels.
'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceeding ill. Oh, hi ho.
For a hawk, a horse, or a husband?
For a letter that begins with them all, H.
Well, and you be not turned Turk. There's no more saying by the star.
What means that fool trow?
Nothing but God sent everyone their hearts can desire.
Here, these gloves the Count sent me. They're an excellent perfume.
I'm stuffed, cousin, I cannot smell.
A maid and stuffed. There's goodly catching of cold.
Oh, God help me. God help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it. Doth not my wit become me rarely?
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. By my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Carduus Benedictus and lay it to your heart. It is the only thing for a qualm.
There, that princess pricked her with a thistle.
Benedictus? Why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus?
Moral? No, by my troth. I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may think perchance that I think you are in love. Nay, by your lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list, nor I list not to think what I can, nor indeed I cannot think. If I would sink my heart out of thinking that you are in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love, yet Benedict was such another. And now as he become a man, he swore he would never marry, and yet now in spite of this heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Enter Ursula.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedict, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Want me to dress me, good cuz, good Meg, good Ursula?
and all the ladies exit. Act 3, Scene 5. Outside of Leonato's house. Enter Leonato meeting Dogberry and Verges. Leonato.
Good Signor Leonato.
Michael.
Tony, why don't you just read Leonato for this scene until he comes back?
What would you with me, honest neighbor?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly.
A brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me.
Marry, this it is, sir.
Verges.
Kitty?
Head.
Right, that's you.
Yes, in truth it is, sir.
What is it, my good friends?
A goodman Verges, sir, speaks a little off the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not as blunt as God help I would desire they were, but in faith honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes, I thank God I am as honest as any man living that is an old man, and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorous. Palabrous, neighbor Verges.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
Oh, it pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. But truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All thy tedious on me, eh?
Yea, and 'twere 1,000 times more than 'tis, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city. And though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
And so am I.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, I watched tonight, accepting your worship's presence, have ta'en a couple of as arrant knaves as any in Messina.
A good old man, sir. He will be talking, as they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it is a world to see. Well said, i' faith, neighbor Verges. Well, God's a good man, and 2 men ride of a horse, one must ride behind. An honest soul, i' faith, sir, by my troth he is as ever broke bread, but God is to be worshipped. All men are not alike, alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, have indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself, and bring it me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear to you.
It shall be sufficient.
Dogberry and Verges exit.
Drink some wine ere you go. Farewell.
Enter a messenger.
My lord, they stay for you to give your daughter to her husband.
I'll wait upon them. I am ready.
Go, good partner, go. Get you to Francis Seacole. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are now to examination these men.
And we must do it wisely.
We will spare for no wit, I warrant you. Here's that shall drive some of them to a non-com. Only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication.
Please let me work.
And meet me at the jail.
They all exit. Act Quartus, Scene Prima. Enter Don Pedro, Don John the Bastard, Leonato, the Friar, Claudio, Benedict, Hero, and Beatrice.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterwards.
You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady.
No.
To be married to her, friar. You come to marry to her.
Lady, you come hither to be married to this count.
I do.
If either of you know any inward impediment why you should not be conjoined, I charge you on your souls to utter it.
Know you any, hero?
None, my lord.
Know you any, count?
I dare make his answer. None.
Oh, what men dare do. What men may do, what men daily do.
How now, interjections? Why then some be of laughing as ha ha he.
Stand thee by friar father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonato, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you in your own proof had vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity.
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonato, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee seeming, I will write against it. You seem to me as Dian in her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere it be blown, but you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he just speaks the word?
Leonato?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored that have gone about to link my dear friend to a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I have but dreamed?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True. Oh, God.
Leonato, stand I here? Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face heroes? Are our eyes our own?
Oh, this is so. But what of this, my lord?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do, as thou art my child.
Oh, God, defend me how I am beset. What kind of catechism call you this?
To make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Marry, that can Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight out at your window betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why, then you are no maiden. Leonato, I am sorry, you must hear. Upon mine honor, myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her, hear her at that hour last night talk with ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed most like a liberal villain confessed the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie, they are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment.
Oh, Hero, What a hero hadst thou been if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity. For thee I'll lock up all the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm. And never shall it be more gracious.
As no man dagger here a point for me.
Why, how now, cousin? Wherefore sink you down?
Come, let us go. These things come thus to light. Smother her spirits up.
Don Pedro, Claudio, and Don John exit.
How doth the lady?
Dead, I think. Help, Uncle! Hero! Why, Hero! Uncle! Signor Benedict Friar!
Oh, fate! Take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest company for her shame that may be wished for.
Oh, no, cousin Hero!
Have comfort, lady.
Dost thou look up?
Yes. Wherefore should she not?
Wherefore? Why, does not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero. Do not ope thy eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, though why thy spirit was stronger than thy shames, myself would on thy reward of reproaches strike at thy life. Grieve thy, had I but one child, from that I'd frugal nature's frame. One too much by thee. Why, I had one. Why, ever was thou my lovely in my eyes? Why, I had that one with charitable hand took up a beggar's issue at my gates, who smeared us and marred with infamy. I might have said, no part of it is mine. This shame derives itself from unknown loins. But mine, and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine that I was proud on, so mine so much, that I myself was to my own self not mine, viewing of her, why she is fallen into a bit of ink that the wide sea hath dropped too far to wash her clean again, and salt too little which may season give to her foul tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder, I know not what to say.
But my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly, though until last night I have this 12th month been her bedfellow.
Confirmed. Oh, that is the stronger maid, which was before barred up with ribs of iron. Will the prince lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so, that speaking of her foulness washed it with tears? Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little, for I've only been silent so long, and given way unto this course of fortune by noting of the lady. I have marked it. 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into her face, 1,000 innocent shames in angel whiteness bear away those blushes, and in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors that these princes hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool. Trust not my reading nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenure of my book. Trust not my age, my reverence, calling not divinity. If this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error.
Friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the graces she hath left is that will not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why seekest thou then to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness?
Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that do accuse me. I know none. If I know more of any maid I'm alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. Oh, my father, prove it that any man with me converse at hours on me, or that I yesternight maintained the charge of words with any creature. Refuse me, hate me, torture me to death.
There is some strange misprison in the princes.
Two of them have the very bent of honor, and if their wisdoms be misled in this, the practice of it lives in John the Bastard, whose spirits toil in frame of villainies.
I know not if they speak but truth of her. If they speak truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honor, the proudest of them shall well hear of it. Time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, nor age so eat up my invention, nor fortune made such havoc of my means, nor my bad life reft with me so such friends, but they shall find awakened in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability of means and choice of friends to quit me of them thoroughly.
Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the princess, left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it, that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation, and on your family's old monument hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial.
What shall become of this? What will this do?
Mary, this well carried, shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. But not for that dream, I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying as it must be so maintained, upon the instant that she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. For it so falls out that what we have we prize not to the worth whilst we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value that we find, the virtue that possession would not show us. Whilst it was ours, so will it fare with Claudio. When he shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination, and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life, into the eye and prospect of his soul. Then when she lived indeed, then shall he mourn. If ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not accused her, no, though he thought his accusation true, let this be so, and doubt not but success will fashion the event in better shape. Then I can lay it down in likelihood. But if all aim but this be levelled forth, the supposition of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as befits her wounded reputation, in some reclusive and religious life, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Signor Leonato, let the friar advise you. And though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the prince and Claudio, yet by mine honor, I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body.
Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may leave me.
'Tis well consented, presently away, for to strange souls strangely they strain the cure. Come, lady, die to live this wedding day, perhaps is but prolonged, have patience and endure.
Exit the friar, Hero, and Leonato. Beatrice and Benedict remain.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yeah, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Oh, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
But is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Not that strange.
As strange as this thing I know not, it were as possible for me to say, I love nothing so well as you. Believe me not, yet I lie not. I confess nothing, and I deny nothing. I'm sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Not swear by it and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me. and I will make him eat it that says, I love not you,
You not eat your word?
with no sauce that can be devised to it. I protest, I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest, I love you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny. Farewell.
Oh, tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you, let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is it not approved in the height a villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? That I am a man. Why bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor? Oh, God, if I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out a window, a proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Hero, she is wrong, she is slandered, and she is undone. Princes and counties, she's surely a princely testimony, a goodly count, confect, a sweet gallant surely. Oh, would that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend who would be a man for my sake. But manhood is muted into curses, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim once too. He is not as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing. Therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand and so leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead, and so farewell.
They exit separately. Act 4, Scene 2, the town jail. Enter Dogberry and Vergis with the members of the watch leading Baraccio and Conrade in chains. Also enter the sexton.
Is our whole assembly appeared?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Marry, that am I, and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Yea, marry, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Baraccio.
Pray write down Baraccio. Yours, Sirrah?
I'm a gentleman, sir. My name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrade. Masters, do you serve God?
I.
Write down that they hope they serve God. And write God first.
We say we are none.
And write God first, for God defends, but God should go before such villains. Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and it will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourselves?
Marry, sir, we say we're none.
A marvelous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come you hither, sirrah. A word in your ear, sir. I say to you, it is thought you are false knaves.
Sir, I say to you, we are none.
Well, stand aside. For God, they are both in a tale. Have you writ down that they are none?
Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers.
Yea, marry, that's the eftest way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I charge you in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain.
Write down, Prince John, a villain? Why, this is flat perjury to call a prince's brother villain.
Master Constable.
Pray thee, fellow peace. I do not like thy look, I promise thee.
What heard you him say else?
Marry, that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the Lady Hero wrongfully.
Flat burglary as ever was committed.
Yea, by the mash, that is.
What else, fellow?
And then Count Claudio did mean upon his words to disgrace Hero before the whole assembly and not marry her.
Oh, villain, thou wilt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this.
What else?
This is all.
Yeah, this is all.
And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before and show him their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned.
Let them be in the hands of Coxcomb.
Oh, let him be in the hands of Coxcomb.
God's my life, where's the sexton? Let him write down the prince's officer Coxcomb. Come bind them, thou naughty varlet.
Away, you are an ass, you are an ass.
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass. But, masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it be not written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any is in Messina, and one that knows the law, go to, and a rich fellow enough, go to, and a fellow that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been writ down an ass.
They all exit. Actus Quintus, Scena Prima, a street in Messina. Enter Leonato and his brother Antonio.
Mary Lou?
Oh, I'm not.
1894.
If you go on like this, you will kill yourself. It's not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself.
I pray thee, seize thy counsel, which falls into mine ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give me not me counsel, nor let no comfort delight mine ear, but such as one whose wrongs doth suit with mine. Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of her is overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. Measure his wound the length of mine and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, and thus for thus, and such a grief for such, in every lineament, branch, shape, and form. If such a one will smile and stroke his beard, and sorrow, wag, cry hem, when he should groan, patch griefs with proverbs, make misfortune drunk with candle wasters, bring him yet to me, and I of him will gather patience. But there is no such man. For brother, men can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel, but tasting it, their counsel turns to passion, which before would fetter strong madness in a silken thread, charm ache with air and agony with words. No, no. 'Tis all men's office to speak patience to those that wring under the load of sorrow, but no man's virtue nor sufficiency to be so moral when he shall endure the like himself. They give me no counsel. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
Therefore do men from children nothing differ?
I pray thee peace. I will be flesh and blood, for there was never yet a philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently. However they writ the style of gods and made a push at chance and sufferance.
Bend not all that harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too.
There thou speakst reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me, hero is belied. And that shall Claudio know, so shall the prince, and all them that dost dishonor her.
Enter Don Pedro and Claudio.
Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily.
Good den, good den.
Both of you.
Hear you, my lords?
We have some haste, Leonato.
Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one.
Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man.
If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Wrongs him.
Marry, you dost wrong me, thou dissembler thou. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword. I fear thee not.
Marry, beshrew my hand, if it should give your age such cause of fear. In faith, my hand meant nothing to my sword.
Tush, tush, man, never flay or jest at me. I speak not like a dotard nor a fool, as under privilege of age to brag what I had done being young, or what would do were I not old. No, Claudio, to thy head, thou hast so wronged my innocent child and me, that I am forced to lay my reverence by, and with gray hairs and bruise of my days to challenge thee to trial. I say thou hast belied mine innocent child. Thy slander has gone through and through her heart, and she lies buried with her ancestors, in a tomb, where never shall scandal slept save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare, despite his nice fence and his active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Wait, I will not have to do with you.
Canst also doubt me? Thou hast killed my child. If thou kills me, boy, thou shalt kill a man.
Oh, he shall kill two of us, and men indeed. But 'tis no matter, let him kill one first. Win me and wear me. Let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir, boy, follow me. Sir, boy, I'll whip you from your flaunting fence. Nay, I am a gentleman. I will.
Brother.
Content yourself. God knows I love my niece, and she is dead, slandered to death by villains that dare as well answer a man indeed, as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops.
Brother Anthony.
Hold you content. What man I know them, yea, and what they weigh even to the utmost scruple. scrambling, outfacing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, depraved and slandered, go articulately slow, outward hideous, and speak off half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they durst. This is all.
Brother Anthony.
Come, 'tis no matter. Do not you meddle. Let me deal in this.
Gentlemen both, we will not wake your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death, but on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord.
I will not hear you.
Enter Benedict.
No. Come, brother, away. I will be heard.
And shall, or some of us will smart for it.
Exit
See?
Leonato and Antonio.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
Signor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Welcome, Signor. You are almost come to part, almost a fray.
We'd like to have our two noses snapped off with two old men without teeth.
Leonato and his brother, what thinkest thou? Had we fought, I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel, there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We've been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Dost thou wear thy wit by thy side?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw, as we do the minstrels, draw to pleasure us.
As I am an honest man. He looks pale. Art thou sick or angry?
What courage, man! What thou care killed a cat? Thou hast metal enough in thee to kill care.
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career, and you charge it against me. I pray you choose another subject.
Nathan, give him another staff. This last was broke cross.
By this light he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed.
If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle.
Shall I speak a word in your ear?
God bless me from a challenge.
You are a villain. I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I will protest your cowardice. You have killed a sweet lady, and her death shall fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you.
Well, I will meet you, so may I have good cheer.
What? A feast? A feast?
I' faith I thank him. He hath bid me to a calf's head and a capon, the which if I do not carve most curiously, say my knife's not. Shall I not find a woodcock too?
Sir, your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said thou hadst a fine wit. True, says she, a fine little one. No, said I, a great wit. Right, says she, a great gross one. And nay, said I, a good wit. Just said she, it hurts nobody. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise, certain, and she a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath the tongues that I believe, said she, for he swore a thing to me on Monday night, which he forswore on Tuesday morning. There's a double tongue, there's two tongues. Thus did she an hour together transhape thy particular virtues. Yet at last she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy.
For the which she wept heartily, and said she cared not.
Yea, that she did. But yet for all that, and if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. The old man's daughter told us all.
All, and moreover, God saw him when he was hid in the garden.
But when shall we set the savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedict's head?
Yea, and text underneath, here dwells Benedict, the married man.
Fare you well, boy. You know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jests as braggarts do their blades, which God be thanked hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your brother, the bastard, is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady for my lord Lackbeard there. He and I shall meet, Until then, peace be with him.
Exit Benedict.
He is in earnest.
Bound earnest, and I'll warrant you for the love of Beatrice.
And hath challenged thee.
Most sincerely.
What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his own doublet and hose and leaves off his wit.
Enter Constable Dogberry, leading Conrade and Baraccio in chains.
He is then a giant to an ape, and then is an ape a doctor to such a man.
But soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled?
Come you, sir. If justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite once, you must be looked to.
How now, two of my brother's men bound. Baraccio one.
Hearken after their offense, my lord.
Officers, what offense have these men done?
Marry, sir, they have committed false reports. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanders. Sixth and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things, and to conclude, they are lying knaves.
First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what's their offense. Sixth and lastly, why they are committed, and to conclude, what you lay to their charge.
Correctly reasoned and in his own division, and by my troth there's one meaning well suited.
Who have you offended, masters, that you are thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offense?
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me? And let this count kill me. I have deceived even your very eyes. What your wisdoms could not discover, these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander the lady Hero, how you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in Hero's garments, how you disgraced her when you should have married her. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation. And briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
Claudio?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee on to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet Hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved at first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time, our sexton hath reformed Signor Leonato of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify when time and place shall serve that I am an ass.
Here comes Master Signor Leonato and the sexton too.
Enter Leonato and the sexton.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he?
If you would know your wronger, look on me.
Art thou the slave that with thy breath hast killed mine innocent child?
Yea, even I alone.
Oh, no, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honorable men. A third is fled that had a hand in it. I thank you, princes, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it.
Know not how to pray your patience, yet I must speak. Choose your revenge yourself, Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not, but in mistaking.
By my soul, nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to.
I cannot bid my daughter live. That were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Messina here, how innocent she died. And if your love can labor aught in sad invention, hang her an epitaph upon her tomb, and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning, come you to my house. And since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew. My brother hath a daughter, almost the copy of my child that's dead. And she alone is heir to both of us. Give her the right you should have given her cousin. And so dies my revenge.
Noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your offer and dispose for henceforth of poor Claudio.
Tomorrow, then, I will expect you coming. Tonight, I take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Margaret, who I believe was packed in all this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but always hath been just and virtuous in anything that I do know by her.
Moreover, sir, which indeed is not under white and black, this plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in this punishment. And also, the watch heard them talk of one deformed. They say he wears a key in his ear and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money in God's name, the which he hath used so long and never paid, that now men grow hard-hearted and will lend nothing for God's sake. Pray you examine him upon that point.
I thank thee for thy cares and honest pains.
Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth, and I praise God for you.
Yeah, there's for thy pains.
God save the foundation.
Go. I discharge thee of thy prisoner, and I thank thee.
I leave thee an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore you to health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come, neighbor.
Until tomorrow morning, lords. Farewell.
The Constable, Dogberry, Conradi, and Baraccio exit.
This is Antonio.
Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow.
Leonato and Antonio exit.
We will not fail.
Claudio.
Tonight I'll mourn with Hero.
Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margaret how her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
They all exit. Act 5, Scene 2, a room in Leonato's house. Enter Benedict and Margaret.
Prithee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice.
Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty?
In so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it, for in most comely truth thou deservest it.
To have no man come over me, why, shall I always keep below stairs?
Thy wit is as quick as the greyhound's mouth, it catches.
And yours as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit but hurt not.
A most manly wit, Margaret. It will not hurt a woman, and so I pray thee call Beatrice. I give thee the bucklers.
Give us the swords. We have bucklers of our own.
If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Well, I will call Beatrice to you, who I think has legs.
Exit Margaret.
And therefore will come the gods.
The God of love.
No. Sorry, this is not a song. This is not a song. Sorry. This is.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I said both.
The God of love that sits above and knows me, how pitiful I deserve. I mean in singing, but in loving. Leander, the good swimmer, Troilus, the first employer of panders, and a whole book full of these quondam carpet mongers whose names yet run smoothly in the even road of a blank verse. Why, they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self in love. Mary, I cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme to lady but baby, an innocent rhyme. For scorn, born, a hard time. For school, fool, a babbling rhyme. Very ominous endings. No, I was not born under a rhyming planet, for I cannot woo in festival terms.
Enter Beatrice.
Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I called thee?
Yes, Signor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay till then.
Then is spoken. Fare you well now.
Oh.
And yet ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is with knowing what hath passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Yeah, and foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is but foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore, I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frightened the word right out of his right scene. So forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. And I pray thee now, tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me?
For them all together, which maintain so politic a state of evil, that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me?
Suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will.
In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart, if you spite of it for my sake, I will spite it for yours. For I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There is not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that lived in the time of good neighbors. If a man do not erect in this age his own tomb ere he dies, he shall live no longer in monuments. Then the bells ring and the widow weeps.
And how long is that, you think?
Question. Why an hour in clamor and a quarter in room? Therefore, it is most expedient for the wise, if Don Worm, his conscience, find no impediment to the contrary, to be the trumpet of his own virtues. As I am to myself, so much for praising myself, who I myself will bear witness is praiseworthy. And now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
Very ill too.
Enter Ursula.
Serve God, love me, and mend. There will I leave you two, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your uncle. Yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my lady Hero hath been falsely accused, the Prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all, who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear this news, Signor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes. And moreover, I will go to thee to thy uncle's.
They exit. Act 5, Scene 3. Night in the churchyard at the tomb of Leonato's family. Enter Claudio, Don Pedro, and 3 or 4 others with tapers and musicians.
Monument of Leonato.
It is, my lord.
Okay, this is Claudio's speaking.
Done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death and guerdon of her wrongs gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang thou there upon the tomb, praising her when I am doomed. Now music sound and sing your solemn hymn.
Pardon,
Pardon, pardon, my goddess of night.
Hold
Those
on,
who
hold on.
thy were denied. For the weak with songs we woe, round about her tombs they go. Midnight, assist our moan, help us to sigh, help us to groan. Heavily, heavily, graves yawn and yield your dead till death be uttered. Heavily, heavily.
I came back from a different show for that song and final speech.
I'm sorry, I was assigned it, Eleanor. So I was asked to do it.
Okay, well, let's deal with that later. This is Mary Lou. This is your line at the top of page 115.
What?
Now unto these bones, good night. Yearly will I do this right.
Good morrow, masters. Put your torches out. The wolves have prayed, and look, the gentle day before the wheels of Phoebus round about dapples the drowsy east with spots of gray. Thanks to you all, and leave us. Fare you well.
Good morrow, masters, each his several way.
Come, let us hence, and put on other weeds. To Leonato's we will go.
And Hymen now with luckier issue speeds than this for whom we rendered up this woe.
They all exit. Act 5, Scene 4, the chapel. Enter Leonato, Benedict, Margaret, Ursula, Antonio, Friar Francis, and Hero.
Did I not tell you she was innocent?
So are the prince and Claudio who accused her upon the error that you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears in the true course of all the question.
Well, I am glad that all things sort so well.
And so am I, being else by faith enforced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it.
Well, daughter, and you gentlewomen all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither masked. The prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, brother. You must be father to your brother's daughter, and give her to young Claudio.
The ladies
Which
exit.
I will do with confirmed countenance.
Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think.
To do what, senor?
To bind me, or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth it is, good signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor.
That I, my daughter, lent her, 'tis most true.
And I do with an eye of love requite her.
The sight where I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince, but your will.
Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is, your goodwill may stand with ours this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, in which, good friar, I desire your help.
My heart is with your liking.
And my help?
Enter Don Pedro and Claudio with attendants.
Good morrow to this fair assembly.
Good morrow, prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you, and you yet determined today to marry with my brother's daughter.
Hold my mind were she an Ethiop.
Call her forth, brother. Here's the friar ready.
Good morrow, Benedict. What's the matter that you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storm and cloudliness?
I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, Fear not, man. We'll tip thy horns with gold, and all Europa shall rejoice at thee, as once Europa did at lusty Jove, when he would play the noble beast in love.
Bull Jove, sir, had an amiable low, and some such strange bull leapt your father's cow and got a calf in that same noble feat, much like to you, for you have just his bleat.
Enter Hero, Beatrice, Margaret, and Ursula, all wearing veils which conceal their faces.
For this I owe you. Here comes other reckonings. Which is the lady I must seize upon?
The same is she,
This
and I
same
forgive
is
her.
she. What are you saying?
That's
This
Leonardo.
same is she. This same is she, and I do give her.
Why, then she's mine. Sweet, let me see your face.
No, that you shall not, till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her.
Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you like of me.
When I lived, I was your other wife. And when you left, you were my other husband.
Another hero?
Nothing certainter. One hero died, but I do live, and surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero, hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whilst her slender lived.
All this amazement can I qualify when after that the holy rites are ended. I'll tell you largely of their hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently.
Soft and fair, friar, which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is thy will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no. No more than reason.
Why, then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do you not love me?
Troth, no more than reason.
Why, then my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore you were almost sick for me.
They swore you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no matter. Then you do not love me.
No, truly, not in friendly recompense.
Cousin, I am sure you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon that he loves her, for here's a paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, written in my cousin's hand, stolen from her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedict.
A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
That's Benedict's line.
Right. Peace, I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedict, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, Prince. A college of witcrackers cannot flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire or an epigram? No. If a man will be beaten with brains, he shall wear nothing but handsome about him. In brief, since I do propose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it, and therefore never flouted me, for I have said against it. For man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee, but in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised and love my cousin.
I had well hoped he wouldst have denied Beatrice. I would have cudgelled thee out of thy single life, to make thee a double dealer, which out of question thou will be, if my cousin do not look exceedingly narrowly to thee.
Oh, come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First of my word, therefore play music. Prince, thou art sad. Get thee a wife, get thee a wife. There's no more staff more reverend than one tipped with horn.
Enter a messenger.
My lord, your brother John has ta'en flight and brought with armored men back to Messina.
Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise the brave punishments for him. Strike up, pipers.
And the play concludes with a merry dance.
Dun, dun.
Hey,
Right.
naughty, naughty.
Oy.
Oy. Oy, gay.
Very good, everyone. Yeah.
Oy. I apologize. My computer went out. My connection went out, and I missed a scene. I had to go out and come back in again, and then I couldn't hear you guys. I apologize. It was during, yeah.
Computers never break down.
No.
Theater.
Okay.
They didn't break down in the 80s when they had 3 moving parts.
Well, thank
people
you
have
all.
some trouble with your? Did any of you have trouble at the end with your script sliding up and down? My script started to slide page by
Probably a computer thing.
Yeah.
I lost my connection a couple of times, and it was driving me nuts.
Oh.
When,
Hey, you
Well,
wanted to let-
very good job, everyone. Well
When
done.
are the libraries going to
Thank you
open?
all so much.
when will the libraries open?
Hey, sorry about those couple
Well,
of
the
lines there.
libraries
I,
are open in terms of limited picking up and doing
Right.
things. When they'll be open for events, they have no plans yet. I suspect that maybe as we get closer to the fall and Broadway's opening up, maybe then they'll start doing it. But I'm hopeful maybe sometime we'll be able to do something outdoors during the summer. But until then, and one of the nice things about Zoom is that we can have people from all over on. You know, like Jennifer in Texas is able to join us, and Angus often from London. So
You know what happened?
so
to
there
Angus?
are some
Join
advantages
us.
to Zoom.
So Angus was
Angus,
supposed to-
Angus had a personal thing. He had to care for his grandkids, and
I
it's
understand.
supper time there. So it's like supper time and bath time. He said he couldn't do the reading. So he was sorry.
And then when we do it nighttime, it's midnight there where
Right.
he doesn't get up until 4 in the morning,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
3 in the morning.
When we actually do it at night, it's the middle of the night there.
All right. Bravo.
All right, bye, everybody. See you next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Sorry about those.
Bye.
Sorry about those couple of